Hello, friends.
Oh, we're doing this again.
It's time for the spectacular.
Oh, I'm excited.
A jumbo series of live shows.
Cool.
With guests whom you all know.
We sure do.
We got all you need in the TV Co app, which is free. We're talking everyday life with BB alums, old school, new school. It's all epic fun. So let's get started, friends, because us three got a lot to discuss.
We do.
It's time to enjoy the show.
It is.
Let's see who'll be joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Guess who's enjoying the intro?
Hooray!
It's me, and I'm sorry, Nicole, I tried for you, but we got guests. We gotta start the show. Go, Nicole, start the show. Start it now. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Eric. How are you?
I'm good on this freezing Friday.
It's very chilly. It's also a Friendship Friday, so that makes it even better.
I know. No, I'm renaming it Freezing Friday. It's officially Freezing Friday.
But you look cozy, though. As you can tell, I broke out my never-ending scarf again. You know, you gave me a little bit of trouble with it yesterday. But I said, you know what? I'm going to embrace the never-ending scarf and wear it again because I know how much you love it.
Isn't it so funny that I don't even know what yesterday was? Like, you say yesterday, I'm like, is that yesterday, but something tomorrow? Did that really happen yesterday? I don't know, Nicole. But you know what I do know?
What's that, Eric?
Is that if people want to keep up with all that we're doing, they should make sure that they follow, like, and subscribe wherever you guys are watching. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, of course, in the TV Co app, in the Hello Friends community, which is where we put a lot of the polls and posts and things that you guys get to weigh in on to impact these shows. So we hope that you guys will follow over there. Of course, sharing is caring, and the best free way to help support our shows. If you love them, tell your friends, tell your family. What else should they do, Nicole?
If you're listening to the audio version of this on your favorite podcast provider, please be sure to leave it a 5-star rating, a positive review, and share it with all of your podcast listening friends.
We love that. And if you are having trouble and you're like, what is the schedule? I don't know the schedule. You can head over to HelloFriendsPod.com. Check out our schedule. All of mine, Nicole's, Hello Friends social medias are there. If you're trying to find a YouTube, a Twitter, a TikTok, a Cameo, they're all over there. So without further ado, Nicole, this is kind of a weird show because it's not like, it's a guest. We have a guest, but we're not interviewing like it's a guest. It's more our friend, but I still feel like you have to do your intro.
I know, it's weird. How do you introduce somebody that's like your bestie?
Oh, good. Oh, I'm off the hook? Perfect. I'm even more excited.
That came out rude. But our friends, the guest today is my ride or die, my final two in the Big Brother house and in life forever. He's my buddy, my pal, my chum, my howdy ho Texan friend. It is the one, the only Cliff Hogg.
Hey.
Howdy, friends. How are y'all? Oh,
Howdy,
so good to
Cliff.
see y'all again.
Yay. It's so good to have you here, Cliff.
2021 is already starting off great. Just getting to do this evening.
I know.
Right?
It's
a perfect way to start the year.
Oh, man. I've missed y'all so much. I've been watching your shows, but so happy to be out here and get to chat a little bit, see what's going on.
Cliff, everybody asks for you. Like, we do shows and people will literally say, like, where's Cliff? Where's Cliff? You get Cliff on here. We need a Cliff visit. We want a Cliff visit. We're like, if you guys want a Cliff visit, we can make that happen real easy.
Oh, well. Yep. Thank you for everyone who is asking. I always appreciate that. Nice to feel wanted.
Absolutely. And what's so cool about like our Friday shows, at the end we do like shout outs to friends, and so many people were like, we just want to shout out Cliff and how amazing he is. And I was like, amen.
I gotta say, yeah, I knew Big Brother was gonna be exciting being in the house and all that, but just all the other Big Brother fans, the community out here, just so incredible. That's the part I never even thought about while I was inside. Yeah, I just figured I'd go back to just being regular old Cliff and that's the end of it. But I just continue to visit with everyone. It's just so much fun. So yeah, that's really neat.
They're the best. You have to just love a Big Brother. You just have to love a Big Brother community, a Big Brother fandom. They're the best.
They're the most passionate, but also the best. Absolutely.
The best. We just love them. So, Nicole, I know that we have so much to get to. We know, we do our watch parties in the Hello Friends community in the TV Co-op where we talk the challenge, which, Cliff, we know that you are a huge challenge watcher as well. So I know we want to talk about that. I know we have questions from people. We got a lot. So I'm going to let you kick it off, Nicole.
Oh man, okay. So before we get into all of our challenge discussions, because this was a very intense week, I feel anyway, I just want to start with asking you like how your holidays went and the new year and just, what you're looking forward to in 2021.
Yeah, no, it was a fun holiday. I was ready to kick 2020 out the door. No, I can't complain too much. Both my kids got engaged. So yeah, there was you got to focus on the positives, even with such a junky year as 2020. So that was great. But now it was kind of a quiet holiday. Normally we celebrate Christmas here in Houston, then go up and see my extended family up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But because of this dang COVID stuff still going on, we shut that down and we just celebrated here in Houston and just took it kind of easy. Celebrated New Year's watching Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, and they're always so much fun watching. They had fun.
Does nobody watch Ryan Seacrest? Well, it used to be Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve, because so far the consensus from 3 people has been Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. Like Eric says it, you say it. I've never watched that. I didn't know that was like a thing. They
are just so much fun. They kind of push it a little bit, little too much drinking here and there. And all.
Okay.
We watched them and we watched Univision or telenovela. They had some of the Spanish language channels know how to treat New Year's right. They have fun.
Wow.
So that's normally what we do. But now we had a blast. So it was just Sharon and I for New Year's, and we broke out a bottle of champagne. Almost broke it out literally because I threw it in the freezer to refrigerate or to get cold, and left it in a little too long, and I froze up the whole bottle of champagne.
Oh my God. Cliff, do you know what happened to me on New Year's Eve? You know those like party poppers that you twist the bottom and they pop?
Yeah.
I had mine and it was a dud. So I was like, oh, hopefully this is not symbolism of my year. So that was pretty bad. But then Mama is standing across the living room from me. She pops it directed at me. It shot me in the stomach and I fell to the ground.
See, I had a mental image of Ralphie from the Christmas Story that you're going to put your eye out. And I just pictured you with the popper here in your glasses.
But I didn't do it to myself. Mama was the one that did it to me.
Wow.
So.
Gosh, well, don't ever let her live that down. You got something over her for a while now.
Yep. Mom, you shot me. But congratulations to Kelly and Daniel for both getting engaged.
Yeah.
Do they know, like, are they getting married this year? Or do they not know yet?
They don't know for certain. It's probably going to be the early part of 2022. Okay. Maybe the very end of this year, but probably the early part of 2022. But yeah, I've told them I'll be there wherever, whenever. We'll certainly be there and cheering y'all on. But yeah, it's going to be exciting as they get all that taken care of.
I love that.
And now 2021, I don't know. I'm just ready to get out of the house.
Yes.
Once the vaccines are done and people are more comfortable, I just want to go out and start hugging people. I didn't be random strangers. I'll be the friendliest Big Brother former house guest ever, because I'll be hugging everyone just to be back in the world again.
Absolutely.
So do that. Just get back to normalcy.
We were so close to act because I haven't seen you since, oh my gosh, October of 2019 in person.
Yeah.
So it's been like over a year and a few months in person, not seeing each other. And we were so close back in December because you and I were both going to go to the Hearts of Reality event. And then it just got too wonky. I know by you in Texas, it got very wonky up by me and like the New York, New Jersey area. And it didn't happen.
I wanted to so bad. One, just to see all of y'all, all my friends and all the other reality people I haven't had a chance to meet yet. Plus, just it's such a great cause, charity. I just want to go over there and support them and everything else. But you just can't. You've got to be cautious just a little bit longer. That's what Sharon and I keep saying. If we just wait a little bit longer, then everything's going to be all right and no worries with it. So here's to being normal in 2021.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever be normal, but life should be more normal. I will.
We have our own hurdle. Maybe our hurdles are a little bit higher seeking a normalcy than some people.
True. And fun fact, Omar, who runs the Hearts of Reality Give Kids the World event, told me today, because he found out that you were coming on the show, he told me that one of your BB comics is currently being auctioned for the charity. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. And if anyone out here watching wants to donate to charity by winning that comic, if you win it, reach out to me. I'll go wherever, as long as you don't live in some, I'll try to sign something. I'll send some photos. I'll authenticate it. I'll do whatever I need to do to back it up.
I love it.
If you live in Fiji or somewhere, I'll go over there and I'll autograph it as well. We can make that happen also.
Wherever they want to fly you.
I was going to say, are they paying for the trip, Cliff? Are they going to pay for the Fiji if they win it? That's a good thing then. I'll give something away for free, and I hope they're in like Paris. And then just fly me there.
It may take weeks to get there because I'll be on the 10 connection stop because that'll be the cheapest flight possible.
I mean, I have to say, we mailed out a lot of like prizes and stuff recently for the holidays. People were getting them across the country from us before they were getting them in our own state. So like we're on Long Island. We literally would mail something to New York City. It took 3 weeks to get to New York City, yet people in California were getting stuff on like the 5 days later. My point is air travel, all of these things are just so weird right now.
I know. It's so strange. I haven't been used to being home for this long for such an extended period of time. I remember when we were in the Big Brother house, I was sitting there saying, gosh, it's been 3.5 months since I've had fast food, since I've had any kind of anything except for what we fixed in there. It's been 10 months or so since Sharon and I have been to a restaurant or anywhere else. Now we've had fun. Sharon and I have been experimenting with different gourmet foods, and we bought an air fryer and we did blooming onions. And I will say, I saw what you and your sisters did, Nicole. I think we may be able to give you a little advice and hints because ours turned out pretty tasty. But now, so we've been having fun just hanging out together for the last 10 months. But I am ready to maybe go to a restaurant, and we celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary, and we didn't go to the restaurants and everything. We just play it low key here and fix some meals and all of that. So it's just been a weird year.
It's been a very weird year because you brought up the blooming onion that me and Kay made, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a long time. No, that was April. Like that was only like, the beginning, mid of last year, and that was a fail because we didn't put it in flour or something, but it was a fail.
I've been having fun. We got an air fryer, so I've been dehydrating apples and bananas, and if it's in the fridge, I'm going to try to dehydrate it just to give it a shot. So we've had fun.
Wait a minute, I feel like somebody tricked Cliff.
What's that?
Because you said you got an air fryer, but you've been dehydrating. So are you frying, but then someone's like, this is dehydrated, it's healthy. That's a good trick.
Yeah, no, it's got both functions on there. You just throw those things in there, let the air circulate around it, dry it all out. And
wait, I have an air fryer. I can dehydrate?
Yeah.
So
I guarantee you, I'd rather eat banana chips than potato chips if it comes down to it. So you can put meat in there and make jerky. You can do all kinds of fun stuff, Eric.
I thought I was onto something. I was going to tell my hubs, like, give him like fried chicken and be like, this is dehydrated, healthy chicken. No, I can't do that. Okay, I get it.
Well, you got the healthy function, and then you've got the just let's throw everything in there and see what comes out tasty, and which just shrivels up and goes.
No, air frying is healthy.
Air frying is healthy.
Oils, yeah.
Okay.
100% air frying is healthy. We do have an air fryer. We do use it for a lot. It's great. It really is. I just didn't know you could like dehydrate is like when you take fruit and you put it in there and then it turns it into like a chewy, like a fruit roll up.
Yeah. Just kind of a jerky, chewy, crunchy kind of. Yeah.
I need to Google this to find out how I do this because you've just impressed me and I want to know.
So just for you, Eric, there's a little banana chip that I dehydrated.
That's
okay.
So cool.
That's amazing.
Just a whole little bag of them I keep next to the to my chair, and I can just munch away on it. It's sure healthier than the Christmas chocolates and candy I got in my stocking this year.
But the chocolates and candy are so worth it.
Oh, they're so addictive. The worst thing in that Big Brother house was that little jar, the ceramic jar with the little Hershey's chocolate bars and everything in there. That was the worst thing possible for us in there.
Yep. I would literally just walk past that and eat a piece, walk back past it, eat again. And that was what caused, I would say, my chocolate obsession. I blame that little bowl in the Big Brother house.
I think it was on purpose. The producers wanted us on those sugar rushes and pumped up and everything else. So they certainly always made sure we had plenty of caffeine and chocolates and things like that in there.
I see that Mel over in the TV Co chat says, look at Cliff giving out a lot of great ideas. I have a load of apples. I'm going to go dehydrate them.
There you go. Hey, next stop, the next Food Network star, Top Chef.
I love it. I love it.
Can't fix the fancy stuff, but I'll dehydrate anything you throw in front of me.
It's brilliant. What was one of your favorite things that you did as a family this holiday season? I mean, I know we can't really go out and do a lot of things, but did you have like a moment or a tradition or something that you guys did this year as a family?
Yeah, the big one for us is that we have always tried to focus. I traveled all over the world, and I've missed Easters and a lot of holidays, but I've never missed a Christmas. And we always celebrated Christmas here at the house. So even when my kids were little, they would come down the stairs and Santa had left presents, and we would watch them come down and get excited and everything. And they both live away from the house now. Sharon and I are the only ones still living here. But they were both able to come in for Christmas, and so they both spent the night beforehand. And so Christmas morning, we got downstairs a little bit early, and we fixed up some coffee and some cinnamon rolls, and had Christmas music playing on the radio and all that. And then they came down the stairs, and so it was nice just having the whole family together again. Because again, especially with COVID and everything else, and just the fact they're out of the house, we hadn't had all four of us together in a while where we could just relax, and it's just us just kind of reminiscing and reliving some of the earlier days of a family, just having us all here and just sitting around Christmas tree and taking it easy and kind of laid back that morning. And
I love this. I can see the whole entire scene painted. Family togetherness, delicious food, gifts under the tree, which is why I have to ask a very important question, Cliff.
What do you got?
I have to ask I'm not going to ask the question. It is not coming from me. I'm going to take it from Lefty Ambition in the TV Co chat who wants to know, but Cliff, under that tree, are there gift bags or are there wrapped gifts?
Oh, I'm an engineer. When I wrap a gift, it's going to be wrapped. There are two ways that I wrap gifts. If it's for one of my kids when they're younger, and now my nieces and nephews, I will take as much tape and packing wrap and anything else I can come up with, and it will be the virtual Fort Knox of Christmas presents, because I like to see them spend 30 minutes trying to open a present from myself. But for Sharon and others, I'm one of those that I have to make sure the Christmas paper lines up just perfect, that the ends of the paper are folded over and there are perfect angles and everything else. I take a long time to wrap presents when I wrap them, because I just tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. So yeah, none of those gift bags for me, and I'm not big into bows, Eric, or ribbons or anything else. It's all just making sure that paper matches up perfectly when I put those things together.
See,
I'm
starting to
I'm sorry, we lost you. We can't hear you. Oh God, I have to stop doing that joke because it takes me so long to get her back. No, go ahead, Nicole. I'll give you the floor.
I was going to say, I'm starting to think it's a personality thing, and that the people I'm close to are gift wrappers. I have yet to meet a fellow bag person. How come everybody I'm very close to says gift wrap? I like bags from Dollar Tree. I like tissue paper from Dollar Tree. I like the little curly cues from Dollar Tree, and just like boom, 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 everything's in the bag with a little puff on top, a little bow. It's done. It looks nice.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It can be the most obvious present. It can be a coffee mug or something, and I'll wrap it so it looks like a coffee mug sitting there in wrapped paper. And it would probably be a lot more of a secret having a gift bag. But no, I'm wrapping it. That's the way Boss Hogg operates.
Right. That's the way most people that care that are giving a gift operates. I tell all the time, I say to people, nothing says I don't care like a gift bag.
Oh, well, I'll go for the paper every time. But I got to say, my two big pet peeves about Christmas are Christmas lights that don't last longer than a single season. Doesn't matter how new it is. When I go put them outside, I always have half the strings that are out on me. And my other complaint is the wrapping paper that just doesn't stick together. That as soon as you try to wrap it up, it just starts falling apart. And
Cliff, I got you here, okay? As a fellow, has to be lined up perfect. Now, I disagree with you. I don't like a bow that you buy from a store. Those are gross. I make my own bows out of ribbon. Nicole and I actually did a show about it where we taught people how to do it. I also am known for the gift wrapping, and the tag has to match the paper, and sometimes I'll emboss it or like a wax. Yeah, very big on the wrapping. It's the most important part. I agree, Cliff.
Yeah. But see, if I put too fancy a bow on it, I feel like I'm building up too many expectations.
No.
I get tired of seeing these commercials where people are getting $60,000 cars for Christmas because no one's getting that from me.
Yeah, but Cliff, you like to make it the Fort Knox of gift. Let me explain it to you. The way you get the bow and the ribbon on is with a lot of hot glue. It almost creates this impenetrable force field where there's no way for them to even get the ribbon off. And my tip for you, if you love a good paper, this is not an ad. Target has the best wrapping paper for the holidays, I feel, or it's my go-to spot.
We made a mistake this year because we bought wrapping paper that was nice and durable, but it also was very pretty because of all the glitter that it had on the outside. I've learned that tape does not stick to glitter, but it certainly sticks to my skin. I looked like a Broadway performer or something else. I mean, I had glitter all over by the time I got through with my evening or two of wrapping presents, and I still find glitter all over. So
Cliff,
I'm making some changes next year.
You keep the glitter. It adds another dimension for what you're trying to achieve. You use hot glue. Then you use tape to just temporarily hold it in place while the hot glue is sealing it shut.
I think we need some pictures of your Christmas, Eric, because I am picturing a very glittery, very, very, very fancy looking Christmas environment on your Christmas morning.
Oh, it is. It is the most beautiful, spectacular, amazing thing. Like multi-layer. People can see. Check out in the Hello Friends community in the TV Co-app. Like I said, Nicole and I have done a bunch of vlogs and all stuff about like that over the holiday season. Well, I mean, I have. Nicole tried, and then stuff ended up in a bag.
And it looked good. Actually, speaking of traditions, I do have a question, Cliff. Were you, because I know what my parents did, were you the type of parents that made your kids like wait at the top of the steps in like the matching pajamas, get out the old tape recorder and make them walk down slowly? That was what my dad did every year. And we would wait at the top of the steps in our matching footy pajamas, and he'd be like, girls wait, girls wait, girls wait. And then, okay, come down the steps. And you had to walk down and be like, oh.
Yeah, oh no, we did that every year, and it was and it was so much fun when they're little. And then they got to be teenagers, and we still made them do it. And they're like, "Oh, come on, Mom, Dad, just let us come down." No, you got to stay up there because it's still Christmas. We still want to record it. And then eventually they got to be a little bit older teenagers. Then it's like, it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. They're still upstairs. You know, when they're little, they're up at 6 o'clock in the morning because they're so excited. By the time they're teenagers, it's like, we're just going to sleep up here. We'll be down sometime tomorrow afternoon. So then we're at the foot of the stairs saying, come on, guys, come down. We're ready to celebrate Christmas. So, it changes over the years a little bit.
I always remember those angsty years of like maybe late middle school, early high school, where I'd be like, oh, come on. Like, I want to come down. Don't film me. Bleh.
I know that we're all TikTokers. I saw the coolest thing ever that if I had kids, this is what I would do. So the kids' bedrooms, obviously all upstairs.
Okay.
When the kids go to bed, the parents built this whole trap, which honestly, I don't know how someone hasn't broken an arm. I literally mean like they're putting up barricades. They're like smoke cans that are swinging back and forth. Like it is the most insane obstacle course that the kids have to like get through and over. And the thing is, on Christmas morning, they are allowed to open the gifts if all of the kids work together to get down the stairs without waking up the parents. If they wake up the parents, everyone has to go back to bed and start over again.
Wow. So they're grooming kids to either compete on a challenge or to be Navy SEALs, one or the other.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great.
Well, you know,
very dangerous.
Gwen Stefani said that that at their house, Santa Claus always puts up a giant sheet of wrapping paper across the doorway leading into where all the presents are. So their kids have to break through the Christmas wrapping before they get there. It kind of reminds me of that prank y'all tried to play. I think it was you and Sis, Nicole, putting the saran wrap all across the doors, filled with Vaseline and everything else.
The funny thing about it, obviously, we don't have tape or staplers or anything like that in the Big Brother house. So we're like, how do we get the saran wrap to stick? So we just put Vaseline on the entire door frame and stuck it. But what was so funny about it is we didn't realize we put it on the wrong side of the door. So I don't know if it was you or Nick, but walked through it and was like, you guys are so stupid. It was probably Nick, and he said we were stupid. Screwed it up, and then all the Vaseline got stuck to him. So we were like, no, it was a success.
God.
Good times.
Good stints we went through to do some pranks in that house.
Look, and people loved you guys. Obviously, I don't think that it is any surprise that people loved the two of you together in the Big Brother house, which is kind of why I thought it would be fun to surprise you guys with a live poll.
Okay.
I thought that we could do a poll right now called "With the Sea Cliff next." What show, dear audience, if we could pick, if we had to put them all together in a show, where do we want them to end up? So wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, any of those, just use hashtag and the number next to your choice. So hashtag 1 for Big Brother again, hashtag 2 for the challenge, 3 for Amazing Race, 4 for Survivor. What do you guys think, or what would you want to do together?
I think we would die on the challenge, so maybe that may be a tough. We'd have fun, but we may die on that one. I think the Amazing Race would be a lot of fun. That could be.
I agree. I think of the 4, Amazing Race would be a really interesting dynamic with the two of us because, yes, we're so similar and we're friends, but we're also very different in like our experiences and everything.
I was waiting to like make the results live because I feel like if people jump on board when I put it on right away and get on with the popular one. But yeah, I mean, Amazing Race, it was just 83%, now back up to 84%. It seems like an overwhelming amount of people want you guys to do amazing or would love to see you on Amazing Race. 0% of the challenge want you guys to do the challenge. How odd.
They care about our health and well-being, I do believe.
Could you imagine us, Cliff, on this season of the challenge with like the double agents?
Oh,
if anybody stole you from me, I'd be so pissed.
Some of that show, I mean, some of the competitions are just so physical. They're a little tough. But there's other parts of it. I watch the way some people are pushing Josh's buttons and some of the drama that goes on. And I sit there and think, I would probably have some major issues with some of the competitions, but I would have so much fun just poking people and just getting people stirred up because they seem so easy. And I don't know how much of it are just the personalities that are in that house and how much of it's trying to get some screen. I don't know what all leads to it, but it just seems like people are very emotional and very easily gotten stirred up in there. So I would have a lot of fun making things uncomfortable at times.
But see, I agree 100%. I feel the exact same way. I feel like Big Brother, maybe it's due to a lack of alcohol. People tend to be okay. Then they would have certain days where things would go up to 11. Like Cliff, when we had certain fights in the house, that's when it turned up to 11. But then it would die down again. I feel like the challenge, they're always in that up to 11 state, whether it be because they're always partying or whatever, or maybe it is screen time, who knows. And I do think like our natures, when they go out to the party, to drink and club, I wouldn't be getting like, rowdy and nasty. So it'd be interesting to see people, just let people do their thing and allow them to go after each other. And someone like Devin, I think I would just follow that guy around and be like, hey, it's your little BB Shadow. What's up?
I mean, I was just going to say, you guys got a little bit on the challenge. The people are still, you got a little bit now. You got 5%. You took some away from your amazing raciness.
Well, if they ever called and put me on that challenge, hey, repping the old folks here, I would go on in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't go out without a fight. And I'd love to have my ride or die in there with me. And you're right, Nicole. If someone turns around and steals you away, then I'd be a little perturbed. There'd be a price to pay for that. But yeah, we would. I don't know. I'm afraid I'd get in there. Was it Joseph a couple of weeks ago, or very first episode where he's asleep on the couch while everyone else is in there drinking and partying, and he's just kind of over in the corner, just kind of laying back and not really participating. And
I really would love to see the two of you on Amazing Race. I think people undervalue people with your skill set on Amazing Race, Cliff. Like, I think the fact that you are someone that has traveled the world, knows these airports, knows other cultures, has been around these people, I really think, maybe they might look at you guys and be like, oh, that's not a team that's going to do that great. And I would say, I think it's going to be a team that would do amazing on Amazing Race, honestly.
I think we do well. I've traveled enough places, and I feel like I'm pretty calm and don't get excited too easy. So, and I think that's a huge part of that show of not getting too worked up when things aren't going perfectly, when you get lost or whatever. But yeah, with me traveling everywhere, Nicole, you haven't been that many places. But then again, from an athletic standpoint, I mean, you proved it in BB Comics and some of those other comps. Yeah, the areas where I maybe would not be quite as physical fitness and all that, then you'd be jumping in and doing that. You could be the one bungee jumping off the 2,000-foot tall bridges and all, and I'd be the one eating a bit spicy foods and all that.
Oh gosh, spicy. I would at least try. Like, I would love all the new experiences. You guys know I'm a huge like Nancy Drew fan, so like the puzzles and stuff like that. I would definitely try new exotic foods. I may not be the best at things, but especially in a competitive environment where it's not, okay, Nicole, you're doing this competition alone. It's Nicole, you're doing this for yourself and Cliff. Like that would motivate me more to like, oh, you need me to bungee jump? I'm not gonna let Cliff down. Let me go do this. So I know we'd push each other, and I don't think you and I have ever argued or fought, even when things got kind of hinky jinky in the Big Brother house. We just kind of talked it out. So I don't think we'd ever have trouble in the sense of like screaming at each other in an airport.
Mark that. So when we go on the show and you have a scene of, I can't believe Nicole, why are you? They'll say, yeah, I remember when Nicole said. You know what? Jumping off buildings, all that that wouldn't faze me at all. The part that worries me are some of those tasks where they have to do those fancy dance steps or follow along and play the musical notes after the other people and all of that. That's especially if it was just me and I saw you off to the side just waiting on me saying, come on, Cliff, you can do it. You can do it. And I'm having to try to repeat those things. That's the part that would make me a little bit nervous, but it'd be so much fun. New York, Texas, older, younger, well-traveled, not so much. There's a lot of contrast.
Not at all.
We would have a blast. Absolute blast.
Destiny says, but Nicole, would you shave all your hair?
Yes.
Oh, really?
There you go, partner.
If I was on Fear Factor, Amazing Race, anything like that, especially with a partner that was relying on me, I'd shave it in a heartbeat. It's just hair. My mom had cancer. She lost her hair. Hair does not faze me.
Okay, clearly I'm thinking of the wrong person. I thought we had this conversation once before, and you were like, no, that's the one thing I wouldn't do. So clearly I'm thinking of...
How about getting a big old tattoo or something? Like
What
a
if
big
you
old
had to get-
tattoo of a watermelon, right? Right
Oh,
on
now
your bicep
we're
or something.
into a gray area.
or what if you had to get to the final leg of the race, right? It's a tie. You tied with another team. You can now enter the final leg of the race. But what you guys have to do is you each have to get giant tattoos of the other one's face on your back.
Oh, I do it.
I would too, but then I'd have a long discussion with Sharon when I got back home.
It's $1
After the
million.
race, and after I had my half of the $1 million, I would then have a giant black spot on my back. Now, no offense to you, Nicole, but just the way it would work out.
And Cliff, it would be my picture with the arms crossed.
Way over in the background, just a little you on the back with your arms.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
And like when you move your shoulder blades, like I just go like.
Oh, I love it. I want to see this. I definitely want to
And
see
for
this
me, it
now.
could be just a little face with a big old cowboy hat across both shoulder blades and everything.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, like riding like a bull, like a whole Texas backdrop.
You know what, Nicole? I'm hearing a potential fundraising opportunity where we could probably make a lot of money sitting in a.
That's very valid. Oh, I never thought about like shave my head for charity, get a tattoo for charity.
A rock star significant others, a tattoo artist. We'll just pop up
True.
to Baltimore and.
But you're going about it the wrong way. It's the people that are the kind and generous people. They're going to donate to the charity anyway. You need to come out with, I'll never shave my head. I'll never get a tattoo. All right, then you finally break down for the charity. You're going to get all the people that are like, oh, she's so against shaving her head or getting this tattoo. We got him. And then you can raise so much more money. You're going about it all wrong.
So we're trying to capture the money from the haters. It's where we're going.
Right. We want hater money for charity. Who cares? I don't care. It's for charity. So
is that better or worse that Nicole raises more money than me or vice versa?
well, Cliff, I am happy to announce Nicole right now publicly is announcing she is willing to shave her head. For which charity, Nicole?
The Hello Friends podcast.
The Hello Friends podcast charity.
Well,
I'm just
I've
kidding.
seen you with dark hair and red hair, and I think I even saw a picture of you with some silver hair once upon a time, or platinum. But can't say I've seen a bald-headed Nicole. But
This
Well,
time.
if you saw the blonde one, you pretty much did.
2021, the new year of adventure, and now we got your first task, Nicole.
Shave my head and get a tattoo on my head. Oh, like Harry Potter, like Voldemort on the back of my skull, just a second face, you know?
And then people could call you Two-Faced.
They already do.
No, I was gonna say nobody ever can call you Two-Faced. Now they would have a reason to be like, you're Two-Faced.
And then I could be like, are you picking on me because of my head tattoo? You know?
Yeah, that's tattoo discrimination. Here's the thing. I want to know about the challenge for a touch, because we do have a lot of challenge questions. We know Nicole never ever ever would do it, and would you do it, Cliff?
Yeah, sure, I'd do it. It may be a horrible decision. As they're carrying my limp body away from that elimination arena, they may say, "Cliff, we told you not." But yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd have, again, I would give it everything I had, and hey, put me up against Fessy in the hall brawl and all of that, and I'd lay a lick on him. I don't know who'd be walking. I don't know who'd be walking away, but he's got a few inches on me, but I got a little body mass to fight back the other direction. So yeah, I'd do it, and I'd have fun doing it. I'd do my own special way of playing the game and try to get the people worked up against each other and see if I could just kind of float a little bit to the end.
Yeah.
And
I don't
yes,
know.
Who's scared about competing against me in the finals? I would be the person they ought to take to the very end, because they know they think they can win against me in the finals. So hey, why waste your week taking me out?
I might be a little prejudiced here, but I'm going to speak on behalf of your wife and say you are not allowed to play, Cliff. On behalf of the other halves of relationships that have to take care of the other halves that go do crazy things. No.
Yeah. You think Holly was a little upset inside the house when Nikki was talking about going on the challenge? Just talk to Sharon about the idea of me going on to that show, and then you'll see some discussions.
That's what I was going to say. I can't see Sharon allowing this.
I
Yeah,
think
that'd be a hard sell.
Mine's not like a no. Mine's just I would never apply, and I would be shocked as all hell if they ever reached out. And I like when I watch Big T, she kind of reminds me of me. Like when she's like, I just do my best. If people are with me, that's great. Like I would go there and I would do my best, but I don't think I would have that pressure of like, oh my God, I want to or can win this. Like Big Brother, I went into it with, I can win this. I need to do my best. Like the challenge, I'd be like, all right, Nicole, you're probably not going to win, so just have fun. And I'd probably be the one that had my shoulder knocked out of place, and then they're like, Nicole's unfit to play.
Yeah, but see, my pressure would be because there aren't a whole lot of older people playing on Big Brother, but then you go to the challenge, and there's no one my age, so I would feel very much like I had to represent the older demographic and everything else, and so, yeah, I would feel a lot of pressure because of that. Man, I'd be laying there with every bone in my body broken. I'd still be saying, I'm not going out. I'm still good. You aren't taking me out that easy, guys. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole. Sorry.
Speaking of like intensity, this week's episode alone, we do want to delve into. There was so much. We saw, obviously, Devin and Tori becoming the double agents despite people maybe not having the best opinions of Devin, his own partner being one of them. So I guess we'll start there. What are your thoughts on, Devin's personality type in that house and them winning the double agent competition?
Yeah, I guess I had my favorites at the start of the season. Obviously, the Big Brother alumni I'm all cheering for, but also Anissa and CT and Wes and some of the kind of the older vets and everything. But and Devin wasn't really on my radar. But I got to say, I kind of enjoyed watching him for the last episode or two, just because he knows how to push Josh's buttons, just his little yelling about Big Brother sucks and all. It's like, come on, why would you get so upset about that? So I've had fun watching, and him grabbing Tori, knowing that they had their beef in X on the beach or whatever, and that he still grabs hold of her. I just feel like there's a lot of strategic play from him that I may not even be capturing or recognizing everything that goes through what he's thinking. I got a lot of respect for him right now in the game that he's playing and some of the actions that he's taken so far.
That's an interesting take because, okay, hold on. You guys know I respect gameplay, and I said kudos to them for winning that comp. He was the only one that was able to do it. Like, that is something. And I do agree with the level of manipulation in the sense of let me do this to piss people off. Let me say this to stir people, stir the pot. I guess I commend that because I'm not the type of person who can do that. So it's like, it's interesting to watch somebody do something so different from you. But maybe, I am similar in age to Josh. Maybe it's a maturity thing, but it gets right under my skin. When he says the Big Brother stuff, I don't know if I'd necessarily react if I was in that bunker house, whatever. But I very much do react as a viewer.
I don't know. When you say that, it just seems to me like, and it seems like a lot of things he's done, he's forcing people to choose some sides one way or the other. And he's almost even saying that he's trying to get the Big Brother people over here and assuming maybe that everyone else that's not Big Brother will come in on the other side. And I don't know. And maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it's just him just knowing what he can say to Josh to get him worked up. But yeah, if he said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to kick your ass. We'll see at the end what happens with this stuff, Devin. But
go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing too. If I was in the house versus watching it, I'm going to feel differently. I'm cheering for the people that are creating the chaos and the drama and everything else. If I'm inside there, that's the last person I want in there. And I'm probably going to go out of my way to try to boot him if I get the chance, just because he's a divisive kind of person there. But as a viewer, I love watching it.
That's valid too.
I mean, when it comes to Josh, I'm very torn because I love Josh the person. I love Josh on Big Brother. I am very much on Josh's side when people mock him or make fun of him on social media for crying or being emotional as if having emotions are a bad thing. None of that bothers me when it comes to Josh. But I am on everybody's side. I cannot stand the whole like I'm gonna start the conversation and then I'm gonna walk away. And I'm not talking to you. Like nope. That would push all my buttons in the same way it pushes everyone else's. And then I would be like, okay, I see what they're saying about Josh.
And some of it seems unnecessary. That whole little conversation with Jay. Why do you go out of your way to get rid of someone that potentially could be working with you and supporting you?
Right.
Even if you don't trust him, even if absolutely you think that he's a snake and he's not going to stand by you, don't tell him. Let him think that he's got one over on you and just play along and keep that in mind when you're making your decisions. But for him to call out Jay the way he did, it just seems like he's burning bridges when he doesn't need to do so.
I will say, when we were doing our watch party here in the app, one of our Hello Friends like chat members, and I can't think of who it was now, so hopefully they let us know, said to us, I wonder if Josh, quote unquote, knows that the only person, not only, but one of the only people he could beat in a elimination would be a Jay. But how do you justify wanting to be thrown in with Jay? You pick a fight with him and make it seem like there's an issue. So when you are in the elimination with him, it's like, oh, we're enemies anyway. See, so that was a very valid point. If it's almost like, I know I can beat you, so let me pick an issue with you.
Maybe, but I tell you what, if I'm trying to pick a fight with someone in order to get thrown into elimination with them, I'm not sure Jay's the person based on last season. Jay did pretty well. He got booted, but only after he'd won, 2 or 3. It seems like he did real well at those first few episodes. I'd be picking on, is it Mitchie or one or two other people?
Mitchie, right?
Yeah, who's now partnered up with Amber M. That he just hasn't. He's a newbie, hasn't really shown that he's got a lot of fight in him yet. Jay would worry me. I'd be nervous about going into the arena with him. But that's a thing about the challenge, which I always wish that maybe, even though these episodes are an hour and a half long or so, I almost feel like, gosh, if you could just give us another 30 minutes of some of the behind the scenes strategy talk, I feel like I'd be more able to understand, because sometimes I feel like I'm just missing out whole sections of conversation to understand the motivation for some of the things that are happening in there.
That's very true.
I know one thing that's real easy to understand about the challenge this week, and it was the Nelson versus Fessy hall brawl. Now, who did you think initially was going to do well on this?
It's got to be Fessy, right? I mean, I've met Fessy. I've stood next to him. That guy is a beast, and he played college football. And he had already talked about how he was waiting for the physical challenges and all of that. And I was a little perturbed that he hadn't already called himself out. Was it 2 weeks ago? I guess that he kind of chickened out there. But I understand absolutely why he did this competition. This is his competition, and I hated it because I'm a big fan of Nelson. After last season, and Nelson threw himself on the sword for Corey, I wanted him to do so well, and so I hated to see the two of them go up against each other. But I would have been amazed if Fessy hadn't won this particular competition.
I had
that part of me that was hoping Nelson would, wiggle his way under him or jump over him. Like, I was like, come on. I always root for the underdog, and I love Fessy. I love Big Brother people. But in that situation, I go, okay, Fessy's so big. Come on, Nelson,
Yeah.
I was going to tell the chat while we were discussing it to let us know who did you think while you were watching. Obviously, we all know the outcome now, but I'm curious to what you guys thought when it was happening or before the first round started. Did you guys all just say Fessy has this regardless, or did anyone think Nelson? It is overwhelmingly Fessy. That seems to be.
But I gotta say, Nelson gave it everything. He hit hard. He was not giving up. He walks out of there with his head held high that he fought the way he did. And I thought there was a chance once they hit. I thought, man, I don't know if he can just get under Fessy, drive him back a few feet, and then wiggle past or something. But that's the thing with Fessy. Not only is he big and he knows how to hit someone, but he's also pretty fast too. He made it across and hit that first round. It wasn't but a split second ahead of Nelson on, so it was a close one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did very well. I was very I was impressed with Fessy, honestly, even from a strategic standpoint. Like we don't, Fessy is always to me who flipped Fessy. So Fessy doing some good strategy there. I mean, some might say it's a bad strategy because now he's a giant target and probably no one wants to work with him in this season or any future season. But if his goal is just to dominate right now, get the win, get this $1 million, and get the hell out, great plan.
If it works. If it doesn't work for him, then it'll be stupid move. You turned on your two closest allies. You got rid of Nelson. You pissed off Corey. You're so stupid. If he goes far or wins it, it'll be, oh my gosh, best move ever. So strategic, so smart. And that's just going to depend on like the tide of the season, in my opinion.
I don't have any problem. Yeah, I know he made some enemies. And I hate because I was cheering for Nelson. But Nelson's gone. So he doesn't have to worry about Nelson at this point. Yeah, he's got Corey upset with him. And that's a shame. But there's only 10 skulls getting handed out this year. And I think he already waited longer than he should have. And he saw his perfect situation now to do the event that he felt comfortable he could win. I don't fault him at all for doing it, for setting it up. Maybe he could have let people know ahead of time so it didn't come in as much of a shock when Tori and Devin put him up and all of that. But there's so few skulls to be had this year. You got to grab it when you can and worry about the relationships later. I think he's got a skull now. There's going to be a lot of people fighting for those last few skulls here over the next few weeks.
And I wonder as well if that goes back to what you were saying, how we wish they gave us more of the context and more of the background conversations. Was there more whisper of Fessy saying, put me in, or kind of hinting toward it with people? There may have been more of that, and maybe it wasn't as much of a blindside. Josh is so shocked. We're all shocked. Maybe it wasn't to that extreme. And I think that's another thing with like maturity, because I know you guys both don't agree with me. I struggle with that because of the personal relationships. And I know that's something that I struggle with. So if I separate it from a game level, I go, wow, that's super impressive. You got to watch out for yourself. You got to get yourself the skull. You want to win. But my heart, I don't know if that's something that I could do. Like, I literally walked downstairs and said to my family, like, if they put me in a whole brawl with Cliff, I don't know if I could rip off his face mask and throw dirt in his face, but I was also I grew up not playing sports. So I think I just don't have that we win mentality.
It's got to be hard. But even the way he was playing, I mean, TJ called him out. No more dirty play, Fessy and all that. Obviously, he had made the decision that he was going to do whatever it took at this point in time to make it through. And we don't know. He probably got called out by a lot of people, or even calling himself out of why didn't I go in 2 weeks ago when it was the hoops and all that. He's probably spent every bit of time since then saying, I screwed up. Am I even going to get my chance now to fight for this skull? And so he probably chastised himself so much that when the opportunity came up, it probably was that much easier for him to say, forget it. I've got to get the skull. I can't worry about the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I don't fault him for it at all. I truly don't.
And then he picks Casey. Then he literally gets rid of Anissa after being like, oh gosh, I love her so much. I want to make sure she's with a good person. Blindsides Anissa as well. We know that he wants Tori, but obviously can't take her. So he's going to then take Casey. But Casey's like, thanks.
If there's anything that I'm going to criticize from a strategy standpoint, it may be who he picked of grabbing her, because now Casey and Fessy, obviously they're a strong duo, a kick-ass team and all of that, but Casey doesn't have a skull yet. So at some point she's going to have to argue for them getting put up either by the house or to throw themselves in the ring. And if it's another one of those weeks where we don't know if it's the men or the women getting eliminated, it may be exposing Fessy to an elimination that he would just soon not be exposed to. Whereas if Fessy, instead of taking KC, if he had grabbed Natalie, who also already has a gold skull, and she's a strong competitor, there's nothing slacking about her abilities as well. Now both of them already have their skulls, so there's no incentive for either one of them to ever want to campaign or volunteer to go into the ring. And I just thought it would have been a better fit for him to go after Natalie. And also then you have less of the other side worrying about this Big Brother alliance and everything else. So if there's any strategy that Fessy did that I maybe was a little not so certain on, it's just his choice of partners when he got done at the end of that.
And that's really, really good insight, especially in regard to how it would affect Fessy's game. And I see Diane in the TVCO app asking that. She also asks, what do you think about Casey's game? Do you think he hurt her by picking her as a partner?
I don't know. I mean, he's got enough enemies and everything. And if we truly have week after week where we aren't real certain if it's a men's or it's a women's elimination, then yeah, is she going to be put up as a collateral damage to some degree? Maybe, but she doesn't have the skull yet. So I can't imagine that she's going to be so upset if she gets thrown into a ring in the first place. So I don't think it's going to hurt her as much as it could potentially hurt him at the end of it.
Gotcha. And in general, I see Nicole A. Fan asking, what are your thoughts on the steal someone's partner like twist in general?
I love it. I love it. I think it's really interesting. And it's funny the way the dominoes fall, that if someone steals your partner, then you get to pick someone else. And eventually we end up with, was it Michi and Amber M now as the final new couple after everyone else has gotten picked and all of that. And I like it just because it shakes things up and it keeps people from getting too comfortable and too certain about who they're working with. And I like the strategy that's come into play too. You know, Kyle and now and Devin. It's not just I'm going to pick the person who's the strongest or who I feel the closest to. And we even saw that the very first episode when it was I can't remember because Cam and Leroy are dating, but they picked Casey and Josh. Is that what it was?
Split. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can see if we're in a house where I'm saying, well, I'm not going to pick you, Nicole. We're going to pick other partners and then watch each other's backs. It just creates a whole lot of strategy. But then when you can switch partners on down the road, it just keeps any, the biggest complaint from All Stars Big Brother was I felt like everything was too static and too just stable and boring. When you can steal each other's partners, you're not going to have that much boring in this show.
We saw that when they were all talking in the bar, like Devin and Tori were talking, like, okay, you pick who's safe on your end, I'll pick who's safe on my end, then we'll figure out who else we're bringing. So if you pick a partner who you're not necessarily aligned with, you both can protect your own people, and it kind of helps in that vein as well.
And I think it's funny that when Devin picked Tori, you just saw her face like, oh, geez. You can, as much as you can protect your own strategic interest, it's kind of fun thinking, man, I can really screw over someone else just by picking them, either to get them or to get their partner. You just can throw a lot of wrenches into the whole equation with that partner steal technique.
Well, I think that the challenge this season, I have to say, is probably one of the most intense seasons we've seen in a while for a lot of reasons. We asked the Hello Friends community, what did they think was the most intense part of the episode? And not surprisingly, 77% of the vote was Fessy going into elimination. I kind of thought that the Josh arguing with Jay would get more than 2% of the vote.
I thought the swap. I thought Fessy swapping Anissa for Casey, especially the way he set it up. Like he was like, I really like you, Anissa. Like someone's gonna steal me from you eventually. And I was like, wait, what? What's about to happen?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I did not get it at all. But I mean, sure, Fessy going into the elimination was a shocking moment. I don't know that I would have called it. I guess it was. I guess that was probably the most shocking moment of the episode. Because I struggle between the Anissa moment as well.
Yeah.
Because I really did not think Fessy would do that. And honestly, now knowing that, in my opinion, Fessy is willing to do anything to win, I don't think anything's off the table now for Fessy.
Yeah. I got to say, the last 15 minutes of that episode was the episode. No one thought it was intense watching them fly the drones inside those lava tubes.
No, I was just sad because it was like, I want that challenge so bad. I want that drone. I want that VR headset. I want all of that.
I would be jumping for joy if that was my challenge. I'd be saying, all right, Nicole, you and I, we got this one. We can do this. Thank
Oh.
God they were flying drones and they weren't in a car driving along the roads of Iceland with someone blindfolded and someone giving. They'd be driving off the road into icebergs or something. We would have lost half those teams.
Exactly.
They were on the struggle bus.
They were horrible. They given me whole new motivation and incentive that I could compete on that show. They were.
You know what we would do if we saw someone on the side of the road? We
What?
would give them a shout out, Nicole, because
Oh, I love that.
because it wouldn't be our Friday episode if we didn't take a moment to give a shout out to some of the people that submitted wonderful shout outs for us. And I am happy to say one, Denise Loves BB says, could you please shout out my mom, Linda? It's her birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday, Linda. And a fishing mom says, shout out to my son, Bobby, for working and making sure people have produce at Whole Foods, working all through COVID and having it twice, then still going back to work.
Hopefully after he was over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully after he was real.
She said, no, she said, and then going back to work.
Yeah. Yeah, getting it, and then going back in there, even though I'm doing it for the people. Working holidays so ladies can be home with their families.
Props to Bobby, a whole new kind of soldier this year.
Way to go, Bobby.
Thank you so much, Bobby. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you, Bobby. I'm sure the ladies at home during the holidays appreciate you. And yeah. So look, everyone, we have to wrap up this show, but it does not mean that it's over, Cliff. Oh, no. It is not over. We have some more fun topics and things to get into with you on the after show that we do exclusively on the TV Co app. But before we end the show live everywhere else, where can people follow you on social media? Where do you want people to follow you on social media?
Hey, follow me everywhere. Now, in Instagram at cliff.hogg, on Twitter at cliff_hogg. But a lot of my platform and work right now is actually out on my YouTube channel. That's where I'm doing my channel. Y'all do the watch show, and then I do the recap
Nice.
Thursday mornings, Thursday afternoons. I'll drop a recap episode, and then I've still got my Cliff Notes Live I'm doing every Monday night, still out on YouTube channel as well. So yeah, y'all come find me, and I love talking Big Brother and every other kind of wacky reality show I can get my hands on.
I love it. Do you have any shout outs, Cliff? You know, we took 2 shout outs from the community, but is there any shout out you want to do?
Well, I gotta do a shout out to my. I'll keep it very personal. I gotta do a shout out to my kids, but I also have to do a shout out to my wife Sharon.
I know. I feel like I set you up for that, Cliff.
Yeah. It seems like SKD 143 is coming right in. It's every bit. We've got our 2 weeks of winter down here in Houston, so we've got a fire going. I got 2 bottles of strawberry wine, and after we get through with this, Sharon and I are just gonna sit by the fire, drink a little wine, and enjoy Friday night. So, shout out to my amazing wife Sharon.
My gosh, which goes perfect into our after show, because the one question I have for you that someone provided us with is relationship advice for Nicole.
Oh, that is going to be a good after show topic.
Oh, I'm sure that's just what you always are looking for is relationship advice.
Actually, she is, but it will be interesting to hear what you have to say. So, for those of you that are getting off here, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you can check us out live every single day of the week. We have a special episode dropping for you guys on Sunday. It will not be live, but it is our final, I guess I will call it a postseason interview with Danny from Big Brother All Stars. We'll be releasing that this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Nicole and I will be back live again for you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern, recording an episode of our podcast, which we have gone now and done what we said. It's just live when we're recording it, and then that's it. So if you can make it to the live recording, great. If you missed the live recording of it, obviously the podcast will be on all your favorite podcast providers. so you can get it there. And leave it a 5-star rating and a nice review. Make sure that you guys are following, liking, and subscribing. And of course, sharing the shows are all great ways to help support them. Nicole, final thoughts?
Also tune in. I'm gonna be putting my green screen behind me because I'm really jelly. I was already jelly of like Eric's, and then I saw Cliff's today, and I thought Cliff was legit in like this Texan like I don't know like setting. I don't know how to describe that. But then I was like, oh man. So now I want like I don't know unicorns frolicking behind me. But Cliff, you're my bestie. It's been fun to have you join us. I can't wait for the after show and for all the relationship advice that Lord knows I need. Until next time, friends, if you're getting off at this stop, we will see you on Monday.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys. To everyone watching in the Hello Friends community and the TV co-op, stay right there. We'll be back in 1 minute for the after show.